Today, we're going to talk about launching and managing outbound campaigns for startups and scale-ups. Now, if I were in charge of revenue and ops, sales ops for a B2B SaaS company, this is how I would generate 10 to 20 meetings at least as a start per month. Now, there's difference in tactics and campaign types when it comes to outbound campaigns for startups versus scale-ups. First, let's look at outbound campaigns for an early stage startup. Let's say we're talking about a startup with close to no revenue or client traction, limited runway, no message market fit, very limited website traffic, and limited online presence. I would start by implementing the following eight steps as an external outbound partner. Step number one, I would do competitor and market research. Seems pretty obvious. We need to understand what are we competing against, who we're competing against, how can we frame our competitive advantage in the market, how can we frame our offer. Number two, I would do messaging and positioning exercise by using April Dunford's framework. I would then interview our customers or any customers that the startup might have, beta users, to help us understand what kind of language we need to create around the product and our outreach. We would cover items such as, how to articulate our product features and outcomes, how do we articulate the value for end users and stakeholders that care a lot about the value and the product. We would then need to identify any relevant trends that make our product in demand in the market at this current moment. We would then need to identify prospects' current pain state, desired state, fears, belief systems. After we have all of that completed, we will then transpose those into our sales and nurturing copy across all of our channels like email and LinkedIn. Step number three, we would set up infrastructure for email sending at scale, and we can actually do this in parallel to all the other exercises. We would need to purchase adjacent domains. We're not going to be using our main domain to not burn it. We would need to then set up a DKIM, DMARC, SPF records, and set up at least 3 inboxes per domain and put them on a constant warmer. For example, just to put it into perspective, if you want to reach out to 10,000 contacts a month, we would need to purchase around 20 domains and set up around 60 inboxes through Smart Lead and Instantly for this. Step number 4, we need to identify the ICPs, segments, personas that make the procurement or purchasing decisions, as well as some of the end users that will end up using the product. Mine those leads, segment them by company size and titles to adjust your messaging accordingly to your campaigns. Now for mining, we would use various sources to assess the TAM first, so total addressable market. And we would use tools such as Dun & Bradstreet database, Apollo, SIC and NICE codes, industry codes. We would use list brokers and other online databases to first understand what's the size of the market. Once we start mining these companies and mining contacts, we will then enrich the list contact data through tools like Clay, which has already our waterfall enrichment process set up, which really searches for personal data across a multitude of data providers. We can also use data scrapers to help us scrape for any additional data inside that waterfall or inside Clay. Step number 5, we would then create campaign angles and copy to test various ICPs and personas in order to first find that message market fit with cold emails. In that copy, we'll create multiple offers and calls to action, CTAs, to test for each specific segment, persona we're reaching out to. In those initial tests, our goals would be to start a conversation that we can then lead into a call. In our copy, we would typically include a point of relevance. We'll find a way to agitate the pain, provide social proof if we have any, and then provide a CTA, but sometimes leading with some sort of value up front. Step number 6, we'll then need to create nurturing playbooks for our SDRs to efficiently book calls and nurture prospects to calls when we get any positive reply. If we're starting out without any previous experience, we would need to create a list of hypothetical objections that our SDRs could face when nurturing prospects to a call. Step number 7, launching campaigns and iterating them every 2 weeks on copy and segmentation until we hit that message market fit that enables us to consistently book calls. Some of the benchmark numbers that we will be looking at to help us guide this process would typically be something around 1 to 2 calls booked for every 1,000 sends. Our benchmark numbers for our metrics would be something like 5% reply rate, 1% positive reply rate out of those 5%, and we would see anywhere between 0.1 to 0.5 call booking rate on those sends, which, if you're sending out 10,000 contacts a month, you can look at booking between 10 to 30 to maybe 50 calls a month, depending on multiple factors. Now, step number 8, once you start booking calls and closing new clients, which may take 90 plus days, depending on your annual contract value of your company, you will want to scale up. Now, it's important to know that the product, the market, the offer all play a huge role in seeing success of such campaigns for startups. If your product is unfortunately mediocre, if it doesn't solve a burning issue for your prospects, if the market is not ready for it, you might be even too early. If your offer is mediocre and you have a small TAM, small total addressable market, this might be difficult and this might not work for you in the long run. So first you need to assess and understand exactly what you're dealing with. Now let's look at a situation if you're running a B2B scale-up. If you're running B2B scale-up, I'll advise that if you haven't already, do the same following steps I just mentioned a few minutes ago. Review your messaging positioning, set up infrastructure to send emails at scale, set up infrastructure to send cold LinkedIn messages out at scale as well. Collect sales collateral, interview your prospects, prepare copy for outreach, build your lead lists, update your objection handling and nurturing playbook based on the responses you got so far, and then you can start launching your campaigns. Now, with scale-ups, whether you're in the early stages between 20 to 50,000 MRR, or if you're already making 7 figures in annual revenue, you should already have a good baseline for messaging, and you have much more options for targeting your audience, as well as more social proof to help you sell, like case studies, testimonials, a better website, a converting website, and possibly a VSL, a virtual sales letter, if you have one. With the scale up, you can also add more audiences into the mix you can reach out to, such as reaching out to your de-anonymized website visitors, leveraging your LinkedIn connections and company page followers, reaching out to closed lost deals from your CRM, perhaps sending out physical mail and following up with your cold outbound campaigns through email and LinkedIn. You can try conference attendee outreach if there are any large events happening in your industry. Leveraging other LinkedIn audiences such as visitors, engagers, third-party engagers, third-party post engagers, contacting, recycling your current lead list, and as well as leveraging your newsletter subscribers list if you have those ready. If you found this content useful, don't forget to subscribe. Connect with me on LinkedIn. My link should be in the description below the video, somewhere there. DM me if you have any questions. Follow and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.